Yeah, I would recommend this program to men in any stage of going through a divorce or a separation. Um, and honestly, if I had been in the program while I was married and my marriage was good, it would have helped me.
Mhm.
So it's not just for people who are facing divorce. The work that you've done and all the material and the modules would help anybody who's in any stage of a relationship or marriage. The
Yeah.
before was that I was separated, living separate for 8 months, actually got divorced. The after is that my wife, I guess you could call her my ex-wife technically,
Mhm.
um, saw the changes in me, asked if she could move back home, said she wanted to be a family again. Now we're living together, we're sleeping in the same bed, we're going on dates, we're rebuilding our marriage. And in her words, which aligns to the program, she said, I want to create version 2.0 of us. I don't want to
Mhm.
go back to the way that we were. I want to build version 2.0 of us. I think my biggest surprise was seeing how me shifting my behavior created a shift in her behavior.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you taking this interview with us. Um, just like one of our biggest missions is always spreading that positivity, especially when people are at their absolute worst. We get guys in all situations, some really good, some not so good, some really, really bad. And
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you could kind of relate to that. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you for taking this interview, man. And I'm just going to roll right into the questions just so that we can really spread your story and the hope and positivity and kind of really just hit the right people who maybe need it most. So, what was happening in your marriage that made you look for help?
We were married for just shy of 10 years, together for 13. And our marriage had gotten to the point where she sat me down on the couch one day and said, I think we need to get a divorce. She said all the hurtful things you commonly hear. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I don't find you attractive anymore. I don't feel emotionally safe with you. Um, I can't stand sleeping in the same bed as you. I can't stand it when you touch me. Like a lot of those things that come along with not feeling emotionally safe with someone. She just didn't want to be around me. And we have two daughters, young daughters. And I did all the things that you read about online that you shouldn't do. I cried, I pleaded, I begged. I tried to use the kids to make her feel guilty. Like I did anything I could to try to get her to change her mind. Tried to convince her. And as you read about online and see in videos, none of that worked. And if anything, it just drove her further apart. It kind of solidified her decision that she had made up her mind that she needs to leave the marriage and that our marriage is over.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because that what they don't tell you, and I wish more people knew about this, and this is kind of what I've been hammering home with some of you guys on hot seats, especially in the shifting process, is that puts you in a feminine polarity. And it's like two magnets. That's just two positives don't align. That's just gonna push her away even further. So
Yeah, and it did.
and so that's why you decided just to grab the book. And what did you think of the book?
Uh, the book resonated a lot with me. Like it was pretty stereotypically my story. Like I had become a provider, like a very good provider. Like I had a really good high paying job. I had the nice house, the nice cars, the nice vacations. Um, and I would think to myself, like, how could she leave me? I'm a good dad. I'm a good provider. Like, but then a lot of the things you said in the books and some of your videos, like she can hire someone to clean the house and do the yard work and cook and all the stuff that I was doing that I thought was important. You can outsource all that. What she really wanted was emotional safety. She wanted someone who was a rock. She wanted someone who would lead, someone who would provide stability when she wasn't stable.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are those lower level needs, man. Those are those needs that people are like so hung up on. And it's like, you have to have situational awareness, but I love it. So then why did you ultimately decide to join the turnaround program?
I joined the turnaround program admittedly late. Like I thought it was too late. I joined it when we got to the point she moved out and we had been separated for 8 months. She was dating. Um, she pushed for divorce and she actually filed, and we signed the papers and it filed in court. And even at that point, I still did not give up hope. And I found the program online and I signed up because I said, I'm not giving up hope and I've got nothing to lose at this point. Like I've already lost everything. So what more do I have to lose by signing up for the program and giving it a shot? Um, and so in some ways it felt like a last ditch effort because I kind of had no more hope left. Um, but I still didn't give up.
Yeah. Now, that's actually really important because, well, one, because you even during the program, you became an ex-husband, correct?
Yeah, our divorce went through. I remember getting the email from the lawyer saying, like, the judgment was granted. You guys are officially divorced. I'll send you the paperwork. And
Mhm,
thinking to myself, that's it. It's over. We're divorced. There's no coming back from this. But I still stayed in the program and I still did the work and I still stuck it out. And
mhm.
I never gave up hope.
I think I even remember in one of our one-on-ones, I was like, "Look, man, it still does not change. The process is still the same. It's still the ICT, it's replacing with the Renaissance man and really being that full, holistic, undeniable, irreplaceable asset to the mainly to yourself, right? First, and then to the relationship. What now I'm curious, and this is just off of the top of my head. What gave you hope? When because I always tell you guys peaks, valleys, troughs, that's a pretty low down in the dirt trough, right?
Yeah.
What was it that gave you that sense of hope and you're like just one foot in front of the other?
Um, it was what I wanted the most. Like, I wanted my wife back. I wanted my family back. And I wasn't ready to give up.
Mhm.
I
Awesome.
just I just wasn't ready to give up, and, I still saw a future with us together, even if it seemed like she didn't.
Mhm. And we'll talk about but how does it feel now being back, now moving back together? How does that feel, man?
It's amazing, and the ironic thing is that we're still divorced. So, we're not married, but we're back in the same house, we're sleeping in the same bed, we're going on dates, and it's only been 3 weeks, but my relationship feels better and stronger now than it did when we were married.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how that happens,
So,
huh?
yeah, I laughed to myself because 'cause I'm like, I was so afraid of the divorce going through, like, it felt like it was gonna be such a big moment and, like, a final thing, but somehow our relationship is better even though we're not married, and people say it's just a piece of paper, and it's true.
Oh yeah. Now, real quick, from everything that you saw in our before we kind of get into that, with everything that you saw in the book that resonated with you in the videos, what made our approach feel different than anything else that you saw?
I think your approach was the thing that resonated me with was, 1, you actually explained exactly what happened in my marriage, um, and 2, your focus was really about building me up to be the best version of myself that I could possibly be. And when I contrast that to therapy, because we saw multiple couples therapists during the marriage. I've seen probably 5 different therapists on my own, and all they do is make you wallow in your problems and validate you and make you feel like the other person's wrong.
Mhm.
They don't help you diagnose and figure out what the bleeding points were and what you're doing wrong. They don't help you figure out how to be the best version of yourself. They don't focus on masculinity and femininity. They don't focus on leadership. They don't focus on any of that. They just want to talk about your problems and just keep you stuck in like a cycle of thinking about your problems and negativity.
Oh, yeah. It's what I told you guys, I think, like, a couple months ago. I was like, "It's that Rogerian style therapy, man." It's that
Yeah.
it's so poisonous, it's really insidious, that ruthless positive reinforcement, and they think that they're helping you, right? But as we've all seen, that's not how that goes. Now
No. And I left this regular therapy often feeling worse.
Mm,
Whereas I join the hot seats, I do the modules, and I come away feeling good and positive, and I know what I need to work on. I know what I need to
mhm.
think about.
I love it. Yeah, and we're gonna get into those action steps in a bit because what I really wanted to know is like, so with that kind of like that sour taste of like therapy and all that in your mouth, what were you expecting going into the turnaround program versus what actually happened?
I I'll be honest, I had low expectations. Like I'm thinking to myself like, "Oh, it's probably just another program where they're just gonna take my money and I'm not gonna get much out of it." Um, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Like, just listening to the first, like, 10 modules or so, I was like it was really enlightening. And then just seeing how I could shift my behavior and my energy and my mood and my and all that towards her, and seeing her start to mirror that back to me, um, was really eye-opening. And so I had pretty quick results. Um, and I remember getting on Voxer with you and bouncing my thoughts off you and stuff like that, and it was like, listening to all your advice helped me so much more than any of my friends, coworkers, family, therapists, anybody. And if anything, all the other advice that I had gotten was hurting my efforts to change myself and fix my relationship.
But yeah. Yeah, because even as you've seen, what's cool is I'm gonna put up this is just I guess we'll just say this here, but what's cool is I'm actually so you know how I tell you guys about the stages of like,
Yeah,
boy and like 0 to 8, 8 to 13, 13 plus. Well, actually, I'm gonna put up some more stuff so that you guys can understand the feminine stages as well because they mirror, but there's
yeah.
important aspects so that you can feed that, and then also with your daughters, it's going to be extremely important. I can't even tell you, um, but besides that, so then when you were in and you saw the modules and you felt that enlightenment, what did that do for your just internal being and internal state while you were going through this?
It helped me stay a lot more grounded.
Mhm.
Um, it helped me stay calm. And a lot of the things we hear about in the modules helped me when I would interact with her. And because we have kids, we had a lot of interactions. Um, and I would often just repeat to myself, like, be the calm in the storm, stay grounded, show leadership, um, be the man of steel. All the things you hear about in the modules, I would just repeat those to myself. And I did see a shift in the way that she received me when I was around her, and the way that she mirrored my behavior.
Yeah. And so, okay, actually, I really want to touch on that. A lot of people feel like they're powerless in these situations.
Yeah.
What would be the 3 things that you learned from the modules, from everything that did actually change your marriage?
One of the biggest things was, well, 3 things. One is, like, figure out all your bleeding points. Figure out what corrective behavior you should be demonstrating to change the bleeding points, and really focus on remembering those in the moment so that you don't slip back into your old bad habits that contributed to the bleeding points. And 2 was, your energy really does matter. Like, when I shifted my energy, even if I was faking it, just to be happy, be positive, um, seem like I was really doing well, really made her it really created a shift in her. And I remember she even said to me once, she said, "I see that you're happy. I see that you're thriving, and other people can see it." Even if internally I was struggling mentally because of everything that was going on, what I presented outward and the way I carried myself really shifted the way that she saw me. And I got a lot of that from the modules. 'Cause there was a while where I was just, like, depressed and miserable around her, and she said to me one time, like, "I can tell you're not doing well." And so if you let that energy come out and she sees that energy, it's gonna be counterproductive for you. Like, she doesn't want it. She's not going to feel bad for you if you're depressed and miserable because she left. It's going to drive her further away. Um, and then I think that the third thing was probably just not to give up. Like, there were so many points where I would say to myself, like, "Oh, this is it. It's over. She's got a boyfriend. Like, I got to move on." Or, "Oh, now she wants to get divorced. I got to move on." But I would kick myself and say, "No, you need to keep working on yourself and shift the way that she sees you, because it's not over. You know, she can always change the way that she sees you, even after a boyfriend, even after a divorce, even after she blows up at you, even after you beg and plead. You can still slowly rebuild the way that she sees you.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
just takes time."
Yeah. Yeah, like, well, and you even saw it really fast, right? So, like,
Yeah,
that internal so it's what I've been teaching you guys recently. The feminine, her nature is to mirror and multiply, like, literally. And when you give her, a upset mood, she's gonna take that as alienation, rejection, and
yeah,
then mirror it and multiply it because it's all self-preservation, you know? So, yeah, man. And I will give you kudos because even though you were saying that you faked it, well, on a certain level, you can't just perform. Like you have to embody and I even
yeah,
remember on Voxers and everything, I can tell and I can always tell that's why I have you guys speak to me, right? Um, I can really tell that even though you're like there, it's kind of what I tell you guys about frustration. You should get excited because that means that you're like right there at that tipping point
yeah,
and you were starting to embody it. Even though you're going through the motions, that's fine, but you were really embodying everything that we teach here. So kudos to you, man.
yeah. Thank
Now,
you. Yeah, and there were a
okay.
lot of moments where if I wasn't in your program and I wasn't doing the modules and I wasn't on you with Voxer, I would have handled situations the wrong way, and I wouldn't have built safe moments. I wouldn't have built those moments where she might start to think like, maybe he has changed, maybe he is different. I do feel safe around him. And so a lot of the advice and the way that I handled myself around her and the kids did create that shift where I wouldn't have had that help and guidance if I wasn't in the program, and I could have screwed it all up.
Oh, well, that's actually perfect going into our next question because what surprised you most about this process?
I think biggest surprise was seeing how me shifting my behavior created a shift in her behavior.
What surprised you about that?
I didn't realize like the mirroring effect when you said like they're mirrors, they'll mirror your energy. I just did not, I was not aware of that. And there's so many times I look back when like she was in a bad mood and I would let that create, cause me to get into a bad mood. And then we'd both be in a bad mood. And I would blame it all on myself. I shifted to like not letting her mood affect me and just stay grounded and stay strong and be a leader. And I can pick her mood up by doing that. I can get her out of a funk. And I
Mhm.
did not realize that that was even possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's a reason why the sun is masculine and the moon is a feminine in all
Yeah.
cultures, right? Moon gets her shine from the sun. It's not the other way around, right? So that's awesome, man. Okay. So then what was well, I mean, we kind of touched on it briefly, but I want to hear you articulate it a little bit. What was the biggest challenge then while you that you were facing while you were doing the program?
Biggest challenge, sorry, let me start that over because I did turn the heat off here.
You're good.
The biggest challenge was staying grounded um, and focusing on my man of steel while watching her do things that led me to believe it was over. Like
Mhm.
seeing her text a guy that she was dating or having her call to say goodnight to the kids and she's out at the bars and I could tell she's got a lot of makeup on and stuff. And then she was out with somebody. Like staying grounded and like really focusing on myself and focusing on trying to rebuild our connection while watching her doing other, things that were counter to that. Um, Probably the biggest challenge because there were times where I wanted to just say to myself, like, give up and move on. And I had other people in my life saying, just go date, go move on, go find someone new, like you'll find someone better for you. And I had to just block out all that noise and ignore all the noise and all the opinions from family and friends and coworkers. I had to block it all out and just stay focused. Because if I listened to those other opinions and let them infect the way that I was thinking and the work that I was doing, it would have derailed me.
Mhm.
And if I
Th
had let her behavior knock me off course, it would have derailed me. So I really had to stay strong and stay grounded throughout all of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is, a lot of people don't realize how sometimes the noise of your environment is, even though they mean well, and they love you, they appreciate you, sometimes you know what's best for you, right? And they're just doing what they think is best. So you just got to kind of be like, hey, love you, appreciate you, but I have my mission, my values, and my purpose that I'm aligning with. So love that, man.
Yeah. And now that she's back, I still deal with the noise and I just have to block it out. It's like, I have a mission. I know what I want. I want my wife. I want my family. I don't care what other people think. They don't have to walk a day in my shoes. I do. So I'm going to live the life that I want.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, now we're gonna wrap up. I just have a few more questions. So, what do you think about? Yeah, what do you think about Noah's feedback style and the action steps that he gives me?
Uh, I love your feedback style because you're very blunt, very direct, and you hold people accountable. You don't let people off the hook. Um, when people are playing the victim and falling into the common traps, you call them out quickly. And you share it with others so other people can learn from everyone's mistakes. And so I love that about the program. Um, and I love being able to get direct feedback from you on Voxer
Hmm.
because I can share anything that's going on and you'll tell me straight what's going on and what I need to do. And
Oh yeah,
having that support's been huge.
yeah. That's why we do Voxer. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, how can I be? I wish I could be there with you guys, like on your shoulder, like, hey man, don't do that. At least
Yeah.
I'm in your pocket, right? Yeah, at least
Yeah,
I'm
of
on your
course.
phone.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, it's great.
so what is your main takeaway then from the heroic husband?
Um, my main takeaway is that if you do the work, it works, but you have to be patient. I had quick results, but I was separated for 8 months. And I had been doing some work before the program, but the program really accelerated the pace of my progress. Um, but you just have to stick with it and you have to do the work and you have to work on yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, perfect. Now, so then what are the results that you got? What was the before and then what is the now?
The before was that I was separated, living separate for 8 months, actually got divorced. The after is that my wife, I guess you could call her my ex-wife technically,
Mhm.
um, saw the changes in me, asked if she could move back home, said she wanted to be a family again. Now we're living together, we're sleeping in the same bed, we're going on dates, we're rebuilding our marriage. And in her words, which aligns to the program, she said, I want to create version 2.0 of us. I don't want to
Mhm.
go back to the way that we were. I want to build version 2.0 of us. And I agreed with her.
Beautiful.
I said, I agree. I don't want to go back to the way things were. So it's on me to do the work to make sure that I stay with this new version of me.
Beautiful. That's that Renaissance man in action, man. I love it. I love it. All right. So we'll just a last couple of questions and really appreciate your time. So would you recommend this program to other men?
Yeah, I would recommend this program to men in any stage of going through a divorce or a separation. Um, and honestly, if I had been in the program while I was married and my marriage was good, it would have helped me.
Mhm.
So it's not just for people who are facing divorce. The work that you've done and all the material and the modules would help anybody who's in any stage of a relationship or marriage.
Dude, I love hearing that. I feel like every single interview, and this is like one of my other main missions, It's like, let's be preemptive. We'll help you. Doesn't matter what path, but like
Yeah.
let's get there before.
Yeah. It's like changing the oil in your car. Preventative maintenance is better than trying to fix something after it's broken.
I
And
like that.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
if someone gave me the program the day I got married, I never would have ended up in the position that I found myself in.
I love it. Okay. So then I guess why would you tell them to join the program?
Uh, I would join the program because you'll become the best version of yourself, and that's the best thing for you and your family.
Awesome. Love it. What are your final thoughts on Noah or the program?
Um, I'm glad to have found it, and I'm glad to have joined the program, and I would recommend it to others.
Awesome. And I like this. Actually, I think I might just add this. I was thinking, so you now, I did the same thing I did with Todd. So you now, right? Back with his wife, working on it, working on that 2.0. If you can go talk to the who is depressed and in despair, what would be something, what would you tell that as you now, what would you tell that back then?
I would say don't give up. Um, if you give up, then it's over. So you gotta hang on to hope, and you gotta do the work, but hang in there and don't give up hope.
Beautiful. Is there anything that you want to tell anybody who might be watching this, who might see this? Is there any last things that you want to say?
Um, I would just say that it's worth doing the work to save your marriage and rebuild your family. It's the best outcome for you, your wife, and your children if you have kids. And so it's worth doing the program, it's worth doing the work, and it's worth saving your marriage.
Love it, man. All right, cool. We'll end right there. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.